My name is Jared James. If you aren't familiar with me, I'm best known as an entrepreneur that gets the unique opportunity to coach and train agents and brokers in the real estate world and speak at conferences in front of thousands of people. But it wasn't always that way for me. What separates me from so many others is that I've actually done everything that I want you to be able to do. For that reason, this is the place to come if you want to learn the strategies needed to succeed in today's marketplace. This is the Jared James Today Show.
Hey guys, Jared James here, and welcome to episode 38 of the Jared James Today Show. I almost said Today with Jared James like the podcast, but Jared James Today Show. Guys, what I'm going to talk about today is I'm actually going to talk about 5 reasons to hire a real estate coach. But I want you to stay tuned here because this isn't a sales pitch. This is really me just kind of getting through to you and getting to understand maybe why a coach is good for you or maybe why a coach is not good for you, okay? Not everyone needs a coach. A coach is not good for everybody. So we're going to talk about that stuff. As always, like I say, guys, thank you so many of you that have subscribed. Make sure if you enjoy this, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, share it with someone that you think would benefit from this, especially right now with this topic as we're heading into 2019 and we're heading into a time when people really start to reevaluate where they are and they start to look at what they did that mattered and what they didn't do that they should have done and those kinds of things. And I want to say before I get into these 5 reasons to hire a real estate coach, I want to kind of break some, cover some misnomers that people have about coaching, okay? First off, like I said, coaching's not for everybody, okay? When you really evaluate it and you really look at yourself, some of you are not coachable, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, those are not the people we want in our program. We want people who are coachable, that will listen, not that they're just easy, whatever, but they're at least coachable. They're willing to listen to someone on the outside who knows probably and has a different perspective than they do and can help them out. But we all know those people who aren't coachable. And in fact, I'd even say that if you can't think of someone right now who's uncoachable, it may be you, okay? So something to consider, okay? But one of the misnomers about coaching is that coaching is for the weak. People say, I don't need a coach because I'm strong. I don't need someone to follow me around. I don't need someone to hold me accountable. I don't need somebody to do any of these things. And yet that is a complete misnomer. Some of the top people in all of North America and beyond in real estate, they're there because they have a coach. Anybody can do it for 6 months or 8 months or 12 months. The ones that are there consistently year after year after year in almost every single situation have a coach. In fact, I would go as far as to say the ones who can't have a coach or the ones who won't listen to a coach are probably the weak ones because it takes strength to look at someone and to be vulnerable and say, what do I need to do here? Or what do you see that I'm missing? Or what do you see? That takes real strength. So let's get rid of that misnomer that people who are weak hire a real estate coach. That's not true at all. The strongest people in the world and the people in the world that ultimately say, you know what, I want to get everything out of myself I can for myself, my family, for the people around me, for my level of potential, for all of these things, they're actually strong, okay? So let's look at 5 reasons to hire a real estate coach as we're heading into the new year here. And the first reason, and probably one of the greatest reasons out there, is very simply accountability. I wrote a book a few years ago. And basically the premise of that book, and the book was called Get Out of Your Way, was the idea that most people's issue is not that they don't know what to do, it's that they're not doing it. Right? We all know we should eat well. We all know that we should go to the gym. We all know that we should do these things. But how many are actually doing it, not just for a month, not just because of a New Year's resolution? How many are still doing it 8 months from now? Those are the ones that I really care about. I can't tell you how annoying it's going to be for me, someone who motivates people for a living and trains people for a living, to go into my gym in the next few weeks here and have it overloaded with people who I know will not be there in a month. All you're doing is making your body extremely uncomfortable and sore because you're not taking the chance to actually create a pattern. Like to me, I go in and I go, would you just get off of my pull-up bar, please? Because you're not going to be here in 2 months. Now, if that's not you, good for you. This is a time of the year when a lot of people are actually getting serious and they are sticking through it. This is when the change can actually occur. If that's the case, fill this place up. But if it's not going to last, because we need the accountability. And one of the things that I want you to think about is how many things have you not done in the last year that you should have done? What would your business look like if everything you knew that you should have done in the last year, no matter how big or small it was, what would your business look like if you actually had? What a difference would that make in your profit level? What a difference would that make in your structure? What a difference. Now, more importantly, when we talk about accountability, what would your business look like if you had somebody working with you whose sole job was to keep you on task? It's really easy to make excuses for yourself. It's very easy to make excuses to yourself. It is very difficult to make excuses to someone whose job is to keep you on track and who has heard every excuse in the book. That's what you need. When you hire the right coach, you're probably going to hate them for the first couple of months, but by months 3 or 4, when they hold you accountable and you start doing the things that you know you should have done anyway, that's when you start feeling good. It never feels good to say no to that first brownie. It never feels good to say no to that sugar 2 months in. But when you finally do and you start seeing results, you start to see just how good it feels to have said no to something that in the moment felt so right. And yet sometimes you need someone who's going to hold you accountable and get you to stay focused on what is not even their goals. Stay focused on your goals. Because we're making goals on a regular basis and we're saying, why do you want this? And we say, for my family, I want to set an example for my kids. I want to be able to take them and do these things. I want to be able to, and then all of a sudden somebody lines out exactly what needs to happen, what needs to occur for that to happen. And all of a sudden when you're ready to go off track and go back to your bad habits, because some of us are severely addicted to our bad habits, all of a sudden that person's ready to pull you aside and say, so do we not care about the stuff for the kids anymore? Do we not care about the freedom? Do we not care about setting an example? Do we not? These aren't my goals, they're your goals. So we got to keep it not when it's easy, we got to keep on board when it's difficult, okay? So that's number one. Number two, the second reason I hire a real estate coach is just support and encouragement. You know, as dumb as that can sound, as, you know, whatever, can we just be honest for a second? Whether you're brand new in this industry or you've been in this industry for a long time, this industry is a roller coaster, okay? It's a roller coaster. And it is a dog-eat-dog world in the sense that the people around you in this industry, while they may talk nice, whatever, a lot of them know that the worse you do, the better they do. And vice versa. There's only so much business to go around, okay? And so when you look at the fact that the number one reason for the top 100 salespeople in the world is something called ability to control, ability to manage your own state of mind, you need someone that knows how to give you that tough love when you need it, that knows how to hold you accountable, but sometimes needs to just take you and put you back in the right state of mind so that you don't go 3 days off track before you finally get back in gear, and then you got to take 3 days just to get back to where you originally started. That person's able to, at that moment, they know your triggers, they know what gets you going, they know what motivates you, they know when you need encouragement. And there are times when we all make mistakes, we're all not perfect, we all skip something we should have done, we all could have done something better, and sometimes we need somebody that we trust, somebody we look up to, somebody that knows better than us, somebody that has a different perspective to come in and just kind of go, no, you know what, you're doing fine, we're going to get right back on track right now. All of that isn't something we can do something about. All we can do is the moment from right now on, and we are not going to waste another second doing anything that isn't productive or get us closer to the goals that you set between the two of us at the beginning of this year. Let's do it. And you have everything you need to do it. And you have, and just someone who supports and encourages you. The third reason you should consider hiring a real estate coach is financial freedom. You know, especially when it comes to coaching, one of the things I hear from people all the time is, I can't afford a coach. And when I look at our stats, I go, you can't afford not to have a coach, right? There's a big difference between what you spend, and what you actually invest in, okay? Cost, as I've said for years, is what you spend on your kids' Christmas gifts that get used, never get used again, and you'll never get that money back. That's a cost. Okay? Value is what you get in return. That's the difference between cost versus value. Do you know that we did a little research? We did a poll and we found that our average one-on-one student in the last 12 months, their sales volume increased by 69% and their commissions earned increased by 48%. Okay? So while we're thinking about what coaching costs for a one-on-one student, somewhere between $4.99 and up per month, what I really want you to think about is how much do you cost yourself by not being held accountable, by not following the right plan, by not being encouraged, how much are you costing yourself by not doing that? That's the real cost you need to look at. One of the first things we do with all of our students right in the beginning with their one-on-one coach is we do a full audit of their expenses. And we actually, in many cases, are able to save them more money in the beginning than they were spending before they joined coaching. Because they have so many products and services they're paying for, that not that they're bad products and services. That's always the easy answer. Well, that product sucks. This service is terrible. That whatever. You just probably weren't in a place to use it correctly, and it wasn't the right time yet, and so you think it sucks, but I'm sure that they didn't get to thousands of clients and be used all over the place because they're terrible. It's just simply you're not in a place to really use it effectively yet, okay? And so let's not create that narrative, but let's also look at our expenses, take a hard look and say, hey, how can we save save more money? All this stuff that I'm putting towards something that I'm not getting anything in return, how can I eliminate a lot of that and now put it towards actually having a coach that works with me on a regular basis? That's one of the first things that we do with people when we start working with them. Okay? Fourth reason to hire a coach. It's just outside perspective. You don't see what you don't see, and you don't know what you don't know, okay? What I hear from real estate people all the time is one of two things. They either say, oh, nobody's doing that here when we tell them to do something, or they go, oh, everybody's doing that here. And my response to those two is always, so where's the win? Which one is it? Because there is no win in either one of those statements. You should be doing things that nobody else is doing. And by the way, some of the stuff everybody's doing, that's probably because it's a good idea. Everyone I know working in this building drove here today, okay? They didn't walk here. They didn't crawl here. And what I did is I didn't create the narrative and go, I'm not driving to work. Everybody in my area drives to work. That doesn't work. Nonsense, okay? We need to keep an open mind and understand that many of the things we want you to do them because no one in your area is doing them. That's why you're going to dominate. And then some of the things we want you to do that everybody is doing, it's because it's the best way to do it. Things become cliche because they're so true, okay? And so we need to start looking at things, and you need to use a company like ours that has such a different perspective than you. Meaning, we work with thousands of agents all over the world. We work with people in big markets, small market, vacation market, like all different markets. And so while a lot of people will come to us and go, well, I need to make sure I have a coach who's in a small market. I need to make sure, it's because we don't understand that what works in one place works in another. There's little adjustments and such, but we have enough market research to know what works. We have a different perspective. I am able, with someone in Iowa, to be implementing something that's working in Toronto or Ireland or South Africa or Seattle or Colorado or whatever it happens to be, because our perspective as a company is so much wider than local agent who only sees what the top producers have been doing for the last 35 years and nothing's changed. We see what's actually working and what's not working and what will keep something from working from thousands of people all over the world, and we're able to now take that and funnel it to you, okay? So that's a huge advantage for you to have outside perspective. And the fifth reason that you should hire a coach is the one that so many of you avoid, which is structure. Structure. Someone asked me recently, what's the number one advice I have for somebody getting into coaching or getting into real estate? And I said very simply, it's boat over fishing. It's always boat over fishing. And what that means is that everybody wants to focus on fishing. They use that line that I use, that if you want to catch a fish, throw a line in the water. If you want to catch a lot of fish, throw a lot of lines in the water. And what everybody seems to forget is that in order to throw a lot of lines over the water, you got to have a bigger boat. It's infrastructure. Everybody is jumping ahead going for leads, because in their mind, leads equal transactions, and they're not taking the time to build the boat. And believe me, guys, when we build a house, it is so cool to pick out the paint color in the dining room and what kind of trim you're going to put in the living room and what kind of floors are going to go in the kitchen and what kind of all of these things. That's what we love to focus on, right? Nobody wants to focus on the color of the cinder block on the foundation. Right? And yet, you don't get to dining room, you don't get to guest room, you don't get to the rec room, you don't get to any of these places without building the foundation first. It is the most boring, non-sexy, part of that whole structure, and yet it's ultimately what keeps that thing up for the next 200 years. Probably gets covered by siding, nobody ever sees it, nobody ever comes to your house for the housewarming and goes, what a beautiful foundation. Is that cinder block? Nobody ever says that. And yet it's the one thing that allows everybody to do that, and that is what you are missing in your business. You are going shark fishing in a canoe. You're out there with the world at your hands going, I'm going to do so well. HGTV is going to be chasing after me once they see how great I am. No infrastructure. Boats before fishing. Ultimately, we are taught in this industry, how to be an attorney through our real estate classes. We're taught how to be an appraiser. We're taught how to do all these different things and not how to actually run a business. And it's why 87% of all real estate people fail in the first 5 years, 80% fail in the first 3 years, and it's by the ones that even succeed don't really succeed from a life perspective. The ones who make it, like the industry teaches you, and they get to 50 transactions on their own, go ask them how their lives are, okay? By the way, if you're that person doing tons of transactions, money's not an issue, but you have no idea how to scale, no idea how to build infrastructure, no idea how to delegate because everything's always been you and you're a control freak and you know exactly what I'm talking about and you have no idea how to do this stuff, you're a perfect client. You're a perfect student. Because we can show you how to do that stuff and how to actually do more business, make more money, but not hate your life in the meantime. Not be scared to death to go on vacation because the industry never taught you about boats over fishing. It just taught you fish, 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 but it's about the infrastructure, boats over fishing. And what we can do from a coaching perspective is we can actually look at you because everybody has different goals. Not everybody wants a massive team. Not everybody wants a middle size. Not everybody wants we can show you the different models of what they look like. We can show you what that hiring looks like. We can show you exactly what it is they do on a day-to-day basis. We can show you how to find those people. We can show you how to let go. We can show you how to deal with that with your current clients so they don't feel like you're deserting them. We can show you that, and that's what we do. That's what coaching is you have people who already knew what to do, and there's a training component to it, but then there's the accountability to follow through and actually see results in a way that really matters to you so you can go from a place where I'm successful, I'm up on stage telling people how to be successful, and yet ultimately my business model sucks. And you can now go to a place where it's like, oh my God, like I am enjoying my job. I'm enjoying this. I can use this to make money. I can use this to free me up to do other things that I enjoy. I can use this to, that all comes from structure, which is very difficult to do or very difficult to create without that outside help. It's one thing to watch my training on YouTube on how to build a team or structure or whatever. Learning about it is one thing. The actual follow-through on a day-to-day basis is a completely different thing and one that not enough of you right now are taking advantage of. And my hope, my plea is that in 2019, it's going to be more of you because when you look at the testimonials we get to share on a regular basis in our Facebook group on Facebook, go bet a Facebook group would be on Facebook. But Jared James Coaching, when you look at that on Facebook, our group, and you see the testimonials that are coming in and how people's lives are changed and how the structure has helped them, and when you see all these kinds of things, I want more of you to have the opportunity to be in something like that, and I want you guys to be the ones that I'm posting your testimonials in years to come. I want you guys to be the ones that I'm getting up on the stage with me at our next advance, talking about where you were and where you are now, and I want you guys to be the ones that are able to do that, whether you're brand new and trying to get started, whether you're in it for a while but your structure just isn't great, whether you're whatever yours is. That's why we have all different levels of coaching and coaches and that kind of stuff. I want it to be you, okay? If you want it to be you want to learn more about it, we're going to put in the description below a link where you can go and get a free consult and learn about it. It's something a lot of you need to look into. And what I want from you guys this time is in the comments below, I want you to tell me either, yes, I have a coach, yes, I'm going to get one, or tell me no and tell me why. Tell me the reason you stay away from it and be very honest with me. This is a no judgment. We don't get all like weirdo in our comments below unless we get one of those trolls that comes in and then I ultimately ban them anyway. But I want you guys to have a real conversation and say, yes, I'm getting one, or yes, I'm having a consult, or ask a question, or no, I don't, and here's why. Because some people have legitimate reasons why they don't do it. Okay, guys? So this is what I want to share with you heading into 2019, guys. As always, if you enjoyed this or you enjoyed, you know what? We put out a lot of these this year. If you've enjoyed this, you want us to keep shooting these shows, keep shooting the podcast, keep posting stuff on Instagram, keep doing that, give this a thumbs up, let me know, leave a comment below, subscribe as always, share it with someone that's going to benefit from it, guys. I can't wait for so many of you to have an amazing 2019. I hope that we get to be a part of helping you have that amazing 2019. Guys, have a great one. I'll talk to you soon. Hey there, you, and I am talking to you in particular, person that made it to the end of my video. It means the world to me. But if you made it to the end, I'm hoping that you'll take a second and subscribe right here. Make sure you share that with all your friends, by the way. They're in real estate, sales, entrepreneurial, whatever it happens to be. By the way, if you're looking for a speaker for your upcoming event, click right here to get some more information. And as usual, if you have a question you want me to personally respond, just connect on social. You can click right over here and see all the platforms I'm on. I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great one.